Pat the Wine Guy, and we are barrel tasting. We're here at Yamhill Valley Vineyards, and with the Yamhill Valley Vineyards winemaker, Ariel Eberle. Thanks for having us, Ariel.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for coming out.
Barrel tasting. I've never barrel tasted before, so this is going to be a treat for me. To kick it off, what is barrel tasting and why do you do it?
Yeah, barrel tasting is simply using this device here, which happens to be called a thief, and inserting it into the barrel. We'll just show you right now. Going ahead and allowing some of it to come into the thief and putting it in your glass. And this gives us an opportunity to check in with the barrel and see what's going on inside. Always want to rebung the barrel. It's the first rule of barrel tasting.
So to elaborate on checking in with the barrel, what does that mean?
Well, so we can go through the 5 S's of wine tasting, which go hand in hand with barrel tasting. So you want to take a look at the wine, you're seeing the wine, you're looking at clarity, you're looking at color. You can look at the viscosity of it at that point.
Sure.
You want to swirl the wine, and that's allowing some of the aromatics to be released by the oxidation that's happening. And then you want to go ahead and sip the wine, and you can spit or swallow, but you definitely always want to savor the wine as well.
Right.
So go ahead and try with me.
Okay. You're the pro. What did you just taste?
I taste a lot of fruit, a lot of stone fruit and pear, not a lot of barrel impact because this first one that we tried is a 2014 barrel, so we're not getting a really high amount of new oak impact.
So in other words, the barrel's been around for a while and it's not throwing off much flavor anymore.
Exactly.
Intentionally.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you want to happen.
Yeah, every barrel is an opportunity to kind of add a layer of complexity. Every barrel is its own unique snowflake. That is for sure. So even though both of these wines were fermented in the same vessel, now that they've been put into 2 separate barrels, what we're going to look at is how different the wines are now.
2 separate barrels, I mean this one and this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and different ages of oak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a 2015 barrel, and this one is a neutral barrel. And generally, we classify that as about a 5 fill or a 5-year-old barrel. At that point, you're not getting a ton of barrel impact.
How often do you barrel test?
So barrel tasting, ongoing. Generally, I try to commit at least 1 day a week to coming in, checking in on some barrels, usually by blocks, so we can decide, make some judgment calls about the blocks. Also, if there's any outliers, we can decide whether or not they are, performing outside of their cohort. So once a week.
That's wine talk for it. It's not tasting like you wanted to taste? Is that what you're saying? Okay, all right,
we're tasting for differences, and we're also assessing quality too.
That's the obvious question. You taste in a barrel tasting something you don't like. What do? You just
do it different the next time, or if you have a barrel that's problematic, then it's time to let that barrel go become a planter.
But you've got a lot of wine in there. How do you salvage the wine?
You'll go ahead, you take the wine out. So there's a couple different techniques of that. What we use is a bulldog, and it's a...
Yet another great wine term.
Yeah, there you go.
You go down through the bunghole with the wine thief, and if you don't like that, then you go to the bulldog.
Yep. The wine thief would take a very long time to get it all out, wouldn't it? So the bulldog goes and seals on it, has a silicone gasket on it, and we actually use inert gas, usually nitrogen, which will push the wine out. And what that does is it keeps the oxygen out at the same time. So
right, because you don't want the oxygen. Yeah, right. So you pull the wine out, put it in a different barrel, and start the process over again in different wood.
Yep, or if you're ready to bottle, you will push the wine into a tank and prepare that wine for bottling. This is kind of my pride and joy right now. I love this barrel. This is a Mercury barrel, it's a brand new barrel, and it's called a low and slow, or long and lean, so they toast it for a longer period of time at a lower temperature, and it really is so gentle because of that. It doesn't have like a harsh texture to it. It really has a lot of caramel notes, but it's not overdone. It's not smoky or like meaty. It's really a nice barrel for Chardonnay, in my opinion.
Do you know every one of your barrels? It's like the family behind us.
All 321 of them. They're all unique and special and different.
Sure. Ultimately, you just have to taste a lot of wine.
Darn it.
And that's what barrel tasting really is about. You're tasting it over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And not only are you tracking how the wine's doing, but you're developing, I guess, you're developing the complexity of your ability to taste, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, every time you taste, you're making new judgment calls. And, I even look at going to the grocery store as an opportunity to improve my tasting abilities. Like I said about the database that you build, you want to be actually smelling lemons when they're fresh lemon season and, put that away in the database to pull from later.
Yeah.
So
wow.
It can be a very mindful experience, actually.
That's what wine tasting is.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll wrap it up here, but basically these are all your children.
Yep.
And you're keeping track of your children on a very regular basis and making sure they're not getting out of hand.
Yep. We've got the barrel babies and then we've got the vineyard babies, so.
Yeah. All right. Ariel, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pat.
This was very instructive.
Cheers.
Slowly starting to figure it out. Cheers to you too. Pat the Wine Guy at Yamhill Valley Vineyards. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.